Support for this program provided by...
Hello, folks. Well, I took a week off, but now I'm back, and it's time for me to ask you, what are you doing? I'm your host, Chad Stanton, and yes, I took last week off, but more about what I was doing last week and where I'm at, I'll tell you about that on Wednesday's show. Today's show is all about you and what you've been making in your shops. And we've got a lot of entries from all across this nation as well as around the world. So let's get right into it because we've got a full episode today. So Gabriel Benaim. Gabriel is sending in his pictures of this small router table. He got this from the other show that I did on popular woodworking a couple of years ago. We needed a small, compact router table, and this fit the bill perfectly. And then with that, he also made my design of the Asian-inspired jewelry box. And this jewelry box is a little bit unique from others because when it's closed, to open it, you split it down the middle, and then you have some holes that you can push the individual drawers out. I think it has like 6 drawers altogether. So anyhow, thank you, Gabrielle, for sending in your photos and posting them here on the show. Brad Soulchin is next. Now, Brad, if you recall, if you've been following the show, Brad's been making a really big bookcase for one of his customers. Now, I'm not sure where he's at with that, but he said he picked up another job. His niece has opened her own business, a catering business, and she asked Brad to make 30 pens that she can give out to her clients, I believe for Christmas time. So Brad has been busy making those pens. I'm sure he's making his niece happy. I'm sure they're going to make the clients happy. I know Brad will get a little coin for doing that, and he'll be happy. So it sounds like a good deal all the way around. And you know what? I know your niece probably isn't watching, but hey, let's just give a shout out to her business, which is Our Table Catering down there in Tennessee. So if any of you viewers live in the area and you want a party catered by them, I'm sure they'd be happy to hook you up. And tell them you heard it here. Maybe you'll get a discount. Chris Bauss. Chris made this memory box, and he said he made it for, I believe it was a friend and for a baby shower. And he said it's made out of poplar, and he did the dovetails, and he watched the series that we did here on dovetails, which he said helped him quite a bit in making the box. And then he stained it walnut, and he used a spray-on poly for it. And Chris, I think it looks fantastic. And the nice thing about that is, you know, when you give something like that as a baby shower gift, you know it's going to stay with that kid all the way to when they grow up, and then the kid will probably pass it down to, you know, her kids or grandkids. And it's just one of those things that will be in the family for generations. So really nice job there, Chris. Frank Howard. Frank has been working on a humidor box for his father-in-law, and he is making it out of Purple Heart and maple. And he, too, did the dovetails. And I don't know if, I can't remember, Frank said he watched our dovetail series or not. I think he did. I'm pretty certain he did. But nonetheless, dovetails seem to be making quite a impression on this episode. A lot of people are doing them. Hopefully the series that we did here on the show helped you guys with that because, well, if you didn't, they look great. And if the show did help you, well, you're welcome. Gerald Jensen. Gerald, he's posted things on the show before, and he did this segmented vase and turned it then on the lathe. It's got the Thunderbird design in it. Very cool. That's very Native American, right? I mean, Indian symbols there. And he made it out of walnut and maple. Really neat stuff there. I've always wanted to do a segmented turned project. Again, as you've all heard me, I don't really use the lathe a lot, but I think the segmented ones just look so cool, something I've been wanting to do. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. Jeff Burton. Now, Jeff has been a busy guy. On top of his full-time job, on top of him being a dad with the kids and everything, he has restored this old miter handsaw. And, I love the old miter saw boxes. I use mine all the time, especially like on inside for trim. If it's just an average size room, I'm not going to go lugging my equipment inside the shop and, it's loud and make a whole bunch of sawdust. I can just set that miter box up on my bench and cut my pieces and put it up. It works great. So Jeff has cleaned that up. He's also took on a job of restoring and refinishing 6 chairs, which that to me is a nightmare. Fixing them, no problem, but stripping them down, sanding them, restaining them, forget it. But good luck, Jeff. And he also sent some pictures in. I don't have them here, but he's making some kind of a clothes stand or clothes rack for his neighbors who have an RV. He's been sending me photos of the process. I just want to see it finished because I can't seem to get my head wrapped around what it's looking like, Jeff. But anyhow, I'm sure we'll have that photo next week. So thank you, Jeff. Daniel Lawson. This is cool. Now, some of you are going to look at this and say, well, that's not really a woodworking project. But what I love what Daniel did was, so he made this closet. And he made the closet out of pallet wood. He said a 1940-something old dresser that was falling apart, some leftover furring strips, and he even got the doors for free on Craigslist. He said he doesn't even have $50 in this thing. To me, that is so cool. We've talked about it before on the show. You're taking stuff that would normally have gotten thrown out, and you're turning it into something unique, custom just for you. And, he saved some coin. He didn't have to go out and buy something. So, pretty cool, Daniel. So thanks for sharing that, and hopefully that inspires others. Before we pitch something, we kind of think twice if we couldn't use it for something else. Tom Bertino. Tom is making 16 feet worth of cabinets or shelving for his living room. Tom loves music, and he collects record albums, the old vinyl albums. He also has DVDs that he saves, I'm sure CDs. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Tom, didn't you the other week send in a cabinet you made for your old reel-to-reel? So anyhow, that's what Tom's got to have a decent-sized living room if you got 16 feet. It must not be one wall, right? Anyhow. Tom, I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it, and it in place with all your favorite albums there. And just curious what your favorite album is, by the way. Okay, so now we have someone new on the show. She is in America, but she's a little bit separated from us. What I mean by that is she's up there in Alaska. Karen Corrigan. Now, Karen is real excited because they just bought their first house, her and her husband. And she's got a little place now to do her woodworking, and so one of her projects she wanted to make was a spice rack. And what I really liked about this, she thought it through. She took the spices that they commonly use. She made sure she had the dimensions of that. She took note where it was going to hang in the kitchen, so she made certain that the cabinet door didn't hit it. I think that's real important. I think it's a great part of building furniture is the design, not just how the piece looks, but where it's going. Remember the 4 rules of being a good furniture maker. Franklin Gottschall said that you have to have a purpose. That's number 1. 2, it has to be well constructed. 3, it has to look good. And then I like to throw in number 4. Number 3, looking good, should never come before having a purpose and being well constructed. So there you go. you are on your way to making some fantastic pieces there, Karen. And I think Karen and her husband are the perfect couple because Karen likes to build stuff that can go in the kitchen, and her husband likes to do the cooking. So there you go. Saul Penilla. Saul, if you recall, he said he was fairly new to woodworking, and he decided as a gift for some friends getting married, he carved the 10 Commandments on 2 pieces of maple that he put together, and then he stained it. He said he had a little problem with the carving, not carving the letters out, but actually being able to see them. Some woods don't lend themselves to casting good shadows, which is what shows carvings off really well, is the highlight and the shadows of carving. And so maple was one that gave him some trouble. But he did some tricks with some staining on it, and it looks just great. And I was teasing with Saul because he did that all by hand, and you know, he's probably going to be doing a lot of cussing during it, but when he's done, I'm sure he's probably on his road to being a master carver, or he'll never do another carving project again. Either way, it looks great, Saul, and I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic gift for them. Bill Crispin. Bill is over there in California, if I'm not mistaken, and Bill is working on this desk, and I think he said this desk has been taking him quite a while to do, but thanks to this show and viewers like you all watching, we've been able to encourage him and others to finish what we start. And Bill's making this desk. It looks to me to be like Chinese inspired. It's going to have glass on it. And, you know, all those corners are segmented pieces or little pieces put together. And the first couple times he tried doing it, his saw wasn't accurate enough, and it was just kind of sloppy, he said. But then he tried it again, got more specific with it, and he got some good fitting pieces. He's real happy. He's kind of pumped up. So keep going, Bill. We want to see it all the way through to the end. Andrew Eikum. Andrew has been working on this TV console. It's all out of, I'm pretty certain that's white oak, quarter sawn white oak he's got there. And he's building a TV console in the arts and craft style. And he's doing it all with hand tools, the whole thing. You know, minus kind of like ripping and cross-cutting a couple of the large boards. He's doing all the joinery with just hand tools, and it's coming along great. You can't rush through your pieces. If we're rushing through them just for the sake of getting it done, it's not really going to stand up, you know, to the test of time. So take your time with it. Enjoy the woodworking that you guys are doing. If you get frustrated, take a break. Call a friend that maybe can walk you through it. Email me. I'll do my best to help you with your problems. But anyhow, I think it's looking great, and I couldn't help resist showing this because most of you all know that I just love hand tools and hand planes, and so Andrew had sent a photo of just some of the tools that he's using on it, so I thought I'd include it because it's cool. Becky Stock. Becky has been building furniture for the living room. She did a Morris chair for her husband, and then she went on to make an ottoman for him to put his feet up on, and then she made a little end table for him, and here it is all done, the whole set. It's cherry on the top of that table, and it's got that herringbone pattern to it. Looks great, but I'm telling you, Becky, I think you're making life too comfortable for your husband. Yeah, he's probably going to be sitting in that more and more now. So anyhow, it looks great. Donald Dean. Donald has been working on this outfeed table for his table saw. And he's got the construction of it done. And I imagine he's actually probably using it. But he says now he's going to be making 18 crates. And so those will be going onto the sides of the outfeed table to hold the different supplies and equipment and such. But he said there's a reason he's using crates versus drawers. So I'm real anxious to see what his process is there and kind of the stuff that he's going to be putting in it. So that's interesting. I know shop stuff is always a big hit for the viewers. And what Donald did with his was he looked at several different outfeed tables out there in magazines and online, and he kind of picked and chose the features that he liked best to make one ultimate outfeed table. So awesome. Looking forward to more. Doc McLaren. Doc finished turning this bowl for a customer. I think this is the second one now for a customer of his. And I asked him to get a photo of the customer. He said he's going to work on that. I would love to see your guys', because several of you are building projects for customers. I would love to see your customer with the project when it's done. Put them here, happy customers. But besides turning the bowl, he's been taking some leftover scrap or reclaimed wood. He's been making these little boxes. And I thought, oh, those are cute. I thought maybe they were for pens or something. He has found that he's able to sell these boxes at a local eyeglass store. And so customers are buying them to put their glasses in. I thought, man, that's great. That's kind of a different way of thinking there. So good job, Doc, and share more photos here with us. Tom Scarlett. Tom is another guy that makes some interesting stuff. Tom's been on the show before. Tom makes pocket knives. And I know you guys are saying, oh, yeah, pocket knives, they're real popular right now. But Tom makes them all wood. Everything. The blade, and then you can get like the can opener in it. And, you know, all the stuff you'd probably get like on a Swiss pocket knife, he makes out of wood. And so he's got some more to show here, the different woods and color combinations. And Tom, he sells these too. He's another guy who's making money from doing what he loves. So great job, Tom. Keep sending your stuff in. Let's see, on to our third page. Philip Quinn. Philip, I should start calling him the cutting board king, because I'm telling you, every time I turn around, this guy is making cutting boards and selling them. Once again, people making money off of doing what they love. But Philip is doing two things. One, he's got this cutting board here, and he's also in the process of making a walking cane. And he's doing it out of some leopard wood, which, look at that. That looks beautiful. That's not stained or finished or anything yet, so that's really going to look cool when it's done. I'm curious the design that he's doing for this walking cane. And I just was talking with Philip this morning on email. I'm going to be in West Virginia for the Heritage Farm and Museum Festival. I'm one of the speakers there and doing demonstrations. And Philip lives nearby, so he's going to be coming down. I'll be able to hang out with him and see him. And of course, the invitation is open to all of you. You come on down to this thing. It's going to be really cool. A lot going on. So I'll talk more about that another time. But anyhow, Philip, thank you very much. The Duck. Yes, the Duck. He's working on a project. Some weeks ago, he decided he wanted to make a shave caddy. He collects old razors and everything, and he had a unique piece of walnut that he wanted to work with, and he needs a place to put his like soap mug or whatever for shaving. And so he decided to build a little prototype, which is a great idea. Anytime we're kind of trying to tweak a design, maybe we drew it and it looks okay, or maybe we start building it and we're not sure. Instead of, before you waste your good material, take some scrap wood and build a little prototype. And what he found on this is another guy who did dovetails this week. He did just the 2 dovetails on it, and now he's thinking it might look better if he put 3 dovetails on it. So he's, like I said, he's kind of refining that process. But either way, we're going to stay tuned right here, Duck, to see what it looks like. David Bishop over there at One Eye Woody. David made this really cool dragon shield. Now, you know, I'd been gone for weeks, so I probably wasn't paying attention. But I don't know if he made that for himself or if it was for a grandkid kid. I'm not sure. It looks really cool. I mean, I would like to have one myself. But David said he's got a video on that, and if it's out there, if the video's out there, David, I'll put the link in the description below so others could see how you made that. But really cool looking. All right, so we're going to go kind of far away right now. We're going over to Jay Spencer. He's there in New Zealand. And so Jay wrote in this week to me, and he showed me that he's building a table out of some reclaimed timbers. It's going to be a round dining room table. He says he's having just a blast making it. And he also made this blanket chest that he put the milk paint on, which is beautiful. And it's really cool to see something go from kind of rough and rustic, like with that timber, to something soft and eloquent like that blanket chest. And Jay, interesting guy, he is making, or has made, the transition of doing woodworking full-time. And he's had the same problems I've had with customers and jobs going on hold. And he's doing what I want to do, is making his own stuff and then selling it. And he's having some success with it. So I had mentioned about following his blog and hearing his story. And like everything, I have to apologize. I kind of forgot about that. But I'll see if I can't get back into that and see what he's doing and share with all the viewers his success that worked for him and the things that failed, so we know if we want to try going that route, that we stay away from the stuff that doesn't work. But at any rate, it's great to have you back, Jay. Terri Stroh. Terri made this walnut hall table, and Terri said that just getting into woodworking, and so decided to take a class at the Arkansas Art Center Museum School. That's a mouthful. Anyhow, made this table. It looks great. I'm thinking for one of your first projects, good job. So it's always important, if you really, really want to learn woodworking, I think that's a great way to do it, is by taking a class. We can watch videos all day long. We can look at stuff in magazines and books. But unless you have a skilled, qualified instructor watching you, that's the best way to learn, because it's going to help you from getting frustrated. Maybe you're not holding the saw right. Maybe you're not holding your chisel correctly. And you're like, oh, I can't do it. Well, yes, you can. You just need someone skilled to help direct you on it. So great job on that, Terri. Jeffrey Stewart. Jeffrey made this four-legged little stool. He said the seat was made out of some 5-quarter pecan from a local mill by him, and the legs were out of poplar. The cool thing about making stools is it's kind of like an introductory process to if you want to go on and build chairs. And I think building little stools are a lot of fun, and they're fairly quick to do, and there's always a use for them, whether you're sitting on them or using it as a stepping stool. There's always a good use for a stool. So nice job on that, Jeffrey. Let's see. Erskine Carter. Erskine has made this room divider. He'd been working on the room divider for a while, kind of like a cabinet there, to separate the two sections. And the top, the countertop, he wasn't sure what he wanted to use. He kind of didn't want Formica on it. Granite was way too expensive, and Corrigan. But he was able to get one of these kits that allowed him to do the painting, or the faux finish, or whatever they call it. I'm not an artsy person. But, I mean, just look at that. Doesn't that look cool? I mean, it really looks like a stone of some sort. So, really nice stuff. And I keep sending in your work and keep doing more stuff of it, because it looks just great. Charlie Hinton. Charlie has been working on, he's been working on these iPad stands for a long time now. I think he was making like 20 or 25 of these because they're to be gifts for Christmas time. And he said that his wife has took a couple, and then they gave some to some friends, and they haven't even made it to giving them out as Christmas gifts yet because they've been such a hit. He's slowly handing them out to folks. He said he actually doesn't mind making them, but, you know, I was teasing him. Before you know it, Christmas is going to be here, and you either have to, A, make more iPad stands, or B, just scratch the names off of that list to make it shorter. So, anyhow, thank you for sending that in. And Larry Satchwell. Larry made this campaign desk for his granddaughter. What I really like about this was he started it and he lost interest in doing it. And then by watching this show and by seeing what the other viewers are doing, kind of recharged his batteries. And he went out there and finished it. Said his granddaughter just loves it. And I was curious, you know, where he got the design or the plans, because I know campaign furniture, but I was just curious because it looks so nice. I wondered if he just made that up. And he said he went in the Target and saw one, but, you know, it's not constructed very well. So he got the rough dimensions off of that. And from there, he has been building the furniture and just working from those few basic measurements. So we don't always need a full set of plans. Once you're doing this woodworking, you kind of, just like everything, you build your skills, but you build your knowledge of furniture construction itself, and pretty soon you can make just about anything. So that wraps it up for today's episode. I want to thank everyone who sent stuff in. I also want to thank you for being patient with me because I didn't reply real quick to the emails that were sent in. However, if you would like to have your project on the show here, feel free to write me at woodchoppintime@gmail.com. Or if you just have a question about woodworking, I'll be happy to help you with it. So until next time, thanks for watching and keep on dancing.